Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Heather and today we're going to be having a little Friday sews and catch up on what I've been working on here in the sewing room, as well as sharing a special fashion show and event that I attended here in Europe last week. If you are new to the channel, I do a lot of fashion and sewing content, so definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and coming along for the journey. I want to start off talking about this piece that I have made in the background, because the reason I decided to do this little Friday sews and fashion shows is because it's all connected this week. So originally I did want to do a dedicated video about the fashion event that I attended. However, I fell really sick last week. I started early on the piece that I was planning to wear to the event, and then I got sick. I was making such good time on this dress, but unfortunately I didn't get it done because of getting sick. I really just got well enough to go to the show. I'm really thankful I didn't have to miss it, but I decided not to push myself and to really take my time and rest so that I could go. So we're going to talk about the piece that is almost finished that was intended for this event. All right, so I'm going to pull Galinda up here. That's my dress form, Galinda, because she's very bougie. And you can see we've got this beautiful eggplant purple fabric, and it's got a really, really fine silver sparkle that runs through it. I knew I wanted purple because I know we talked about in a recent video how purple's kind of on trend. And I thought, you know what, I like purple, so why not? I was looking for more of a blue purple, but this was the best thing that I was able to find in the right sort of material. So this is Vogue 1884 in view B that you see there on the left. And someone let me know, is this still considered a godet, this little piece that kind of pops out? I'm not sure if that still would be considered a godet or not. But that was my first time doing that, and I really like that feature of this dress. You can tell this is a dress where the fabric needs to have a little bit of structure, so that's kind of what I was looking for, something that would hold this shaping at the bottom really well, and obviously you need some shaping in the bodice there as well. The skirt is gathered, as you can see, and then you've got those gathered, I'm calling them godets, I'm not 100% sure if that's still what we'd be calling them. And the dress does have pockets, which we love. It's about T length, and the back here is not quite finished. One of the things I have to do is sew down the lining along the zip, but I do really like this back as well. I kind of like how we have this little bit of a sweeping motion and the straps that just come ever so slightly out. I think that's really, really beautiful actually. And then we've got the zip up the back, the invisible zip as well. The one thing I will say about this pattern, if anyone has made it, let me know your thoughts, but the bodice here is interfaced with lightweight fusible, and you can see how it collapses a little bit. I feel like it's not quite stiff enough, at least the lightweight that I used. So I feel like I would use something slightly stiffer, and or maybe it needs boning. I could definitely see some added structure to this done in some way. But obviously it's a little better on the body, but that's kind of my one little thing that I would change about it. Now I'm not sure how well this reads on camera, but it does have a horsehair braided hem, which will be my first time doing that. So I did get some black horsehair for that hem. I don't think it's going to be too terribly difficult, but I definitely am going to watch a couple tutorials and make sure I feel comfortable before giving it a go. I actually have a dress that I really love where the horsehair braid got damaged when I wore it, and so I've been wanting to fix it. So once I do this and I feel good, I'll probably go in and fix that dress actually as well. But overall, I did really enjoy this pattern. I thought it was a pretty easy sew. Nothing was super crazy to me. I really like Vogue patterns because I like all the finishings. I like all of those little extra things that just make it feel really perfect when you're done. So I'll definitely share once I get the hem done and once I get those little final nitpicky things taken care of. Okay, so now I want to talk about the event that this dress was intended for. So last week, I am so grateful I was able to attend Fashion Night in Germany, which was an event hosted by Optimum Events. And it was at this beautiful restaurant, just it was in like the downtown Frankfurt area called Ommia, I believe. I'll leave all the links for the event company, the restaurant, any of the designers, etc. down in the description box for you so that you can go check them out. But it wasn't just a fashion show, even though that was kind of the highlight of the evening. The entire evening was just sort of an evening celebrating fashion, so lots of people got dressed up, and you could go to a really fancy dinner on the front end if you wanted to. Unfortunately, I am the pickiest eater on the planet. It's obnoxious. I annoy myself with it, but I never like to be in a position where I have to put that weird eating onto anybody else. So we decided not to do the dinner just because we know how I am. But it was a really, really nice looking dinner if that is something that you're into, followed by the fashion show and then a big after party which we also didn't stay for because, again, with just being on the up and up, I didn't want to do too much. And also, honestly, I'm not a big partier, but the video and stuff I saw after the fact looked so much fun. It looked like everyone had such a great time. And the venue itself was just, like I said, beautiful, vibey, fun. So it was a great place for a fashion event. I also want to just compliment the hosts from the event company that were there. I had reached out to them ahead of time to make sure it was okay to film and share the fashion show with you all, and they were so gracious and they were wonderful when we got there and knew that we had talked through Instagram, and they were just lovely, lovely. I hope I get to go to more events in the future. So thank you to the hosts who made us feel very, very welcomed and threw a wonderful party and event for everybody. So we went just a little bit early and pretty much were there for, like I said, the actual fashion show portion. And there were 4 different shows as part of the evening. 3 of those shows were designers and or brands, and 1 was a shop that houses many designers from Africa. So I loved how different each of the shows were. They each had such a unique point of view, which made for a very entertaining show. It's always hard to pick a favorite when you like everything. I mean, I like a little bit of everything. So I had fun seeing very different styles. Okay, so I think the way that I'm going to share the show with you is I will talk about the shops and or designers in the order that the show went, and then show you each designer as we talk about it. Okay, so the first designer was Braun Couture by Valentina Braun, and her aesthetic I would call very dreamy, a little bit ethereal, a little bit whimsical. Lots of tulle. Tulle was a big, big, big part of the aesthetic, at least of that show. And from what I was able to see through her socials, it looks like a big part of her aesthetic in general. There isn't a ton of detailed info that I was able to find on the designers. So I will just share with you what I do know and a little bit about their aesthetic. But it was all of these just gowns of tulle and just oh my gosh, it was just very glamorous, you know? And what do you all think? Let me know when you watch the show what you think about how many yards or meters of tulle that you think some of these dresses might have used, because I'm gonna guess that it's a lot. These are the kind of things I see, and they're so dreamy and feminine, which I love. And I always think, oh, I'd love to make something like that. But then I get in a room with all that tulle and I think I would absolutely die. So I think I'm probably going to be more of a tailored girly on the whole, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. So here is the Braun Couture show. All right, so that was Braun Couture. I'd love to know your thoughts about any of these shows. Again, let me know what you think about how much tulle was used on some of those garments, because wow, but so, so beautiful. So after that very stunning and show that brought all the drama, then we had AfroSchick, which is the, I believe, of course, feel free to correct me if anybody knows if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the storefront that houses all of the different African designers. So I'm unsure which designers we saw in the show, but I think it's amazing that they house all of these different designers in one place. That's really cool. And this one definitely was more vibey. It kind of blurred the line between streetwear and, I don't know, just a little more sophisticated. I really, really enjoyed this show as well. And I also have to shout out the models. All of the models in these shows were so great and had wonderful personality. Really, really gave a good show. I think we were able to get some good footage because of how wonderful all the models were as well. So here is the AfroSchick show. All right, so that was AfroSchick. I didn't think about talking about my favorite pieces in each show until just now, but I think in the AfroSchick show, there is one guy that walked by and I just loved the print he had on. He had on kind of this hoodie and pant combo, and I don't know what about that particular print just totally grabbed me, but I loved it. As soon as he walked by, that one really sold me for some reason, loved it. So yeah, I think in that show, that might have been my favorite piece. Okay, so that brings us up to Madame MG Couture was the third show. She's based out of Nuremberg and her name is Monica Gruber, is the lead designer, I believe. And the aesthetic was very, again, glitzy, glamorous, but a little bit, reminded me more of like a Rockette girl a little bit, the girls' looks did, but she actually had some men's looks too, so it was really cool to kind of see the juxtaposition of all of her embellishment techniques combined with having some menswear in there. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. You'll see it's very glamorous, more leggy, just, yes, drama in a different way than the first show, but very much enjoyed that as well. So here is Madame MG Couture. All right, so that was Madame MG Couture. I believe in that show, my favorite piece was, it was mostly white with a lot of embellishment, and it had this sort of train floating along the back, sort of this interesting structural piece up on the bustier. But y'all, I enjoyed everything, so it's so hard to pick because my mood might change tomorrow and I'm gonna have a different favorite. But Really, really enjoyed that show as well. And that brought us into the last show, which was Likeman Suits. Now, this is a custom suit company based out of Nuremberg. Again, I believe from what I'm looking up, this is what I'm gathering. So lots of tailored custom pieces. And I was honestly surprised how much I enjoyed the menswear. I mean, as somebody that's clearly making 99% women's clothing in the sewing room, I found myself really enjoying that. Again, the models did such an amazing job. They were very sophisticated, and they kind of gave that little Bond vibe, you know? It was just the very cool guy kind of a vibe. I really loved it. I thought they did an excellent, excellent job, and there was quite a variety for being, you know, tailored suits. There were some that felt more casual, some that definitely felt more dressy, some that felt a little bit more, I don't want to say experimental, but where they were playing with different textures and fabrics that aren't necessarily fabrics you would think of immediately for a men's suit. So I really enjoyed that too, because there was a lot of different texture and things to look at. So here is the Likeman Suits show. All right, so that was the last fashion show of the night. We had such a great time, so thank you again to everybody who was so welcoming and threw a wonderful event. I will leave in the description box, as I mentioned, all the information I have on the designers, the event company, and things like that, so that you can check it out a little bit more thoroughly. Now, that being said, I also want to talk about what's coming on the channel and what I'm going to be working on sort of over the weekend. Okay, so first things first, I have booked myself a very full schedule with different events. I'm going to be going back to Paris in September, and we're going to go check out the Dior Museum. We're going to check out another haute couture exhibit that's going on. We're going to go check out some more fabrics. I think it's going to be really, really fun. I hope you're as excited as I am. And then I have also booked an Africa fashion show ticket, and I will be sitting front row for that fashion show. So excited. And we'll definitely be making a look to wear to that event and sharing that with you if I can. I don't see why I couldn't. It looked to me like people had filmed the last one, but yes, that will be coming up as well. And there is actually another fashion event coming up later in the year that I'm not sure yet, but I'm trying to make it happen. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff like that coming up. And on the back end here, sort of in the sewing room, what is going on? I know I keep saying there's going to be fashion design videos. There are, but they're going to be longer filming process type of videos because of how I'm trying to lay them out. We'll see how that works. I might kind of shift around that layout of the video depending on how it goes, but for right now, they're going to be a little bit longer periods of filming. And I also want to do a video probably next week, just sort of catching up on what I've been sewing, because I've actually been sewing a lot that I have not shared recently. So over the weekend, I'm trying to get a button-down shirt done and my second Minerva brand ambassador make. And I think once those are done, I'm going to film sort of a roundup on what I have been working on, because I did recently finish my first Minerva brand ambassador make and I really love it. I love the fabric, so I'm excited to dive into the next one this weekend as well. So that is all I really have for Friday sews. Let me know your thoughts on the show, on the dress, if you've made this, what your thoughts kind of were sewing this up. Again, are these go days? Somebody let me know, save me from myself. Let me know down in the comments. But I hope you enjoyed this. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did, because it always really helps and I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are new here and enjoy this type of content, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.